Hi, welcome to Free Spirit, and welcome to a Spirit Pick Me Up message and also a tip. So it's come up in the comments a lot because I keep on referring to this term that I always use. I always say Lightworking is a 24/7 full-time job. So I wanted to answer that on a video actually because it's so helpful, and it's something that has been in my life my whole life of being really aware of this, and I would love to pass it on in more detail. So this is going to be the spirit message tip on why I always say light working is a 24/7 full-time job for yourself and others. And I'm not in my usual place, but I wanted to put this down. It just kind of flowed out the best way to describe it, and so I wanted to put it on the channel before I lose it. So why I always say light working and being a light worker is a 24/7 full-time job for yourself and others. And first off, if you look at it just like that, you know, that light working is a 24/7 full-time job, it automatically already makes you always aware that that's what you are really always constantly doing. And so if this is you in life and that's your point of center, what you're aligned with, 24/7, that's what you want to be aligned with. And so instead of speaking in very abstract terms and ways, I want to bring this all down to a real tangible everyday level of how we do that and how we're encouraged always to do that for yourself and others. So lightworking, let me just explain lightworking. Itself, to me, it's all about bringing more light in, dispelling darkness, shining a light on. So this is with loving intent to transform darkness into light. So this can be many things. It could be shedding light on situations, new truths, new awareness, new love, new attention, new wisdom. The light itself can be many forms, and it's usually at the core, it's bringing in higher levels of love, peace, compassion, wisdom, either for yourself or for others. In various situations. And when you know you've brought the light in, it's usually it will feel like you've opened your mind. Your mind is opened up. Your heart has a new awareness in some way. It literally feels like more light just came in. You could feel a dispelling of heavy energy, a lightness come in, an opening up. You have been quite literally energetically uplifted up and out in some way. So throughout your day, this is where they're bringing it home, like for an everyday level. Throughout your day, when you don't feel that lightness, ask yourself, what have you been thinking or feeling? Can you switch that light on? And throughout the day, listening to how you feel with others when you're in certain situations, instead of saying, they're making me feel this way, how they're making you feel, can you switch on that light and make a different choice or bring something in or do something that will bring more light in? The list goes on. But whenever you feel like a heavy or a burden or not in this peaceful, loving, compassionate way, something's going on, whether internally or externally. And when you figure it out and you can make a shift and an adjustment, you're bringing more light into that situation for yourself or others. So the list goes on, but on real tangible 24/7 ways, whenever you're feeling out of sorts, think of what are you thinking or feeling? Can you switch on your light? Can you realign yourself in some way? If you're dealing with others, can you adjust how you're dealing with them in some way? Maybe you don't want to deal with them at all anymore. Maybe you can make a boundary. Maybe you can bring more light in on the situation. And if you can't, maybe it's best to bless the situation and move on. There are different ways to tackle things, to pay attention to your own energy, your own light. So often they're saying we encounter things that quote unquote bring us down, but it is for us to bring ourselves right back up. And it reminds me of a card they had me create. We have to monitor our own inner flame and turn it right back up if it's been affected in any way. So often we encounter things that quote unquote bring us down. So it's for us to bring ourselves right back up. This is literally an energy and vibration and frequency. And they also said be real comfortable on that frequency. They have been saying that, like, what's your wavelength? What's your frequency? If this is your point of frequency right here in this card, this should be feeling to you like your home base. And so whenever you feel a bit far from home, you make that adjustment for yourself, whether inside or outside. You'll know if you've gone a little bit far from home. So whether from inside or outside, we are the light worker. We are constantly light working for ourselves and others. That's why I always say light working is really a 24/7 full-time job. We can always turn it on, turn it up, always be on for yourself and others. And by being there for yourself also in those everyday moments, you actually, when you're there for yourself in that manner, really hyper aware, you're also naturally really taking real divine self-care of yourself too. And that has really been brought home for me. That took me decades to kind of master better. To healing, adjusting, aligning, realigning yourself all along the way, just as you are there for others, is so important. And by doing this for yourself more effectively, you actually will have more to give for others too. But this is why I always say being a light worker and light working is really a 24/7 full-time job for yourself and others. And if you look at it that way, it automatically makes you more aware that that's what you're actually doing and navigating your life this way, because you kind of want to always stay in this point of center, with your light, with your awareness. And so whenever you feel like you're going a little bit off, inside or out, you'll know by your feelings, whether it's your own thoughts and feelings that you're regurgitating like within yourself, or you're encountering things in the outside world and you've been affected in some way. If this is your home base, how this is your point of power, your center, and you feel a little off, you can readjust for yourself, and that in itself is bringing more light in. But this is why they always told me and always brought it home. It's 24/7. So you have to take real divine self-care of yourself every minute of every day. Be aware of that. So you're really in control, really at the wheel of your energy, your frequency, your tone, your energy. And you'll feel it. So there'll be some days, we're affected. Our moods go up and down. We're affected by things. But if we are more aware that this is our point of where we want to be bright. We want to be turned on and up and aware. And we can readjust and realign all along the way. But that's why they always brought it home. Light working, being a light worker, look at it as a 24/7 full-time job for yourself and others. And so I wanted to pass this on for you. And I love this card they guided me to. This is from the Light Transmissions for Your Soul deck, and it says ask your soul. And that really is the whole thing, because they also brought home a lot. Always go to your higher self, connect back to your higher self for all your actions, reactions. You know in the moment, like what can make you feel better, what can you adjust, can you do right in this moment to align, realign, adjust, to bring more light in for yourself and others. And you're always tapped into that. That's what we're always plugged into. So whenever you feel a little off, you just plug right back in. But it is to be aware, because when you're not aware, it almost feels like our energy goes down. And the more you're not aware, you can feel like you're going down, 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 down. If you catch it early, it's much easier to uplift yourself. And they said the same thing. You'll know when you've readjusted, realigned, brought more light in, because you literally will feel a dispelling of heavy energy, a lightness coming in and opening up. You've quite literally, energetically have been uplifted up and out in some way. And you'll know just on your everyday, say if you've been thinking negatively, but then all of a sudden you're aware you're thinking negatively, and you bring light into that awareness, and then you switch what you're thinking about, you've just uplifted yourself. It's as simple as that. So that's what they meant. Bring it real down on real tangible levels. If you're encountering someone who's really negative all the time, you're chipper, you wake up in a great mood, you encounter them, and when you're done, your energy is lowered. It's like you sponged it in. You're aware of that. So you make a shift and you bring some light in, you bring in some joy, you readjust yourself, you fill your cup again. We have different words for it, but it's paying attention to your energy, to your light. It's taking real divine self-care of yourself, knowing that this heart up here, this light, that's what you're aligned with. So whenever whether you're thinking thoughts or doing something, or someone's pulling you out of this alignment, you're aware of that and you realign yourself. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to really be aware of in your everyday, because it's so interesting how in a second, like just that other spirit message, it only takes a second to adjust your frequency, your energy, where your light. So this is why I always say light working is a 24/7 full-time job for yourself and others. And very often I see a lot of things about light working, light workers, and it's all about what you can do for others and all of this. But I have to tell you, they work with me very closely, because I would say half my life, it was like you're a sacrificial lamb, you're overgiving, overcompensating, you're depleted, you're ill, you have nothing left to give. It's like, it is so important that you are a light worker for yourself just as much as you are for others. And it's 24/7 taking care of yourself. That's why I word it like that. I always say light working and being a light worker is a 24/7 full-time job for yourself as much as for others. And we all are doing this. And I actually want to say, I think we're all light workers, even if they don't call themselves a light worker, light working, because everybody here on this planet, for the most part, wants better things for themselves, for their loved ones. They want to bring new love, wisdom, compassion, make things better. So even if they're not using the terms, this is what people are bringing to situations, and this is where it works too. And they can call it whatever they want, and people have different practices and everything else, but at the end of the day, it's bringing new love, light, compassion, healing, awareness, wisdom to situations, and that's lifting us up and out all the time for yourself and others. So that is why I always say light working is a 24/7 full-time job that you're always doing, no matter what. So, and I love how this adds up to 7. It is a divine alignment. And you'll feel internally when you're off, whether it's inside or outside, you'll know. So ask your soul what you can do in the moment to realign, readjust, reconnect, to come from this point and for bringing more light for yourself and others. So I definitely wanted to share this. Why I always say light working is a 24/7 full-time job for yourself and others. And take great, real divine self-care of yourself. Take care. Bye-bye.